Hey, what it do, y'all? Welcome back to Fandom Frequency, where we dive into the entire multiverse of pop culture. And what a year it has been in 2024. We didn't quite reach all of our goals we wanted to do for the overall subscribers and all that other stuff, but we definitely are at a much higher subscriber count than we were last year. And we're going to continue that growth and success and just growing that community day one from the roots with all of y'all out there. So thanks for all your support throughout this entire year, and make sure you double down this next year because we ain't stopping no time soon. We're going to double down and get into a lot of new stuff in the coming year. So if you've been a part of a part of this ride so far and you're a part of the Fandom Frequency community, jump into the comment section below and let us know what you thought about today's latest topic and any other things on the channel that you want to see. Always jump down there below. And if you're new here, make sure you're clicking the buttons and showing that support. It really does help us out immensely as we're trying to grow the channel out and get this algorithm to work in tandem with us so we can get more content suggested to all of you out there. With no further ado, it's been such a long wait for the return of Squid Game, and season 2 just dropped over the past weekend. Finally got a chance to finish the entire second season. It was actually 2 episodes shorter than the first season, coming in at 7 episodes. And for those of you that have been longtime subscribers of the channel, y'all day ones out there, might remember we did a whole group discussion, kind of like breakdown and review with my boy C-Dub, his wife Justine, and then my boy Skippy, who helped get a lot of the things going on the channel. We actually discussed the entire first season when this show dropped and became a international phenomenon. And I'm hoping to get together with some of those same people or similar people to do a whole discussion and breakdown on this season when I've had a chance to revisit some of the episodes and dive more into the theories and all that stuff, and discuss it with other people that have seen the latest and potentially greatest season. Now, I will say off the top here, just getting to a quick spoiler alert, I don't think this was quite as good as season 1, but don't get me wrong, this is still a great season of television and a phenomenal follow-up, in my personal opinion. I think some of the novelty of seeing it for the first time is obviously going to fade away with revisiting the series, and it wasn't necessarily planned to have a continuation either. It was a long gestating project that the creator, who I'm going to throw his name into the editing because I can't pronounce it to save my life. He had been cooking this up for years. It was going to be a movie, and then it ended up getting bought by Netflix and became a series. And it was something similar to like Jordan Peele's Get Out, where he had been working on the script and the concept and the story for years and was just fine tuning it, just hitting one little rock here and there and just carving it to create that perfect masterpiece that is the first season of Squid Game. Now, he did take a good solid 3 years, at least 2 years or so, to write the series and then get it into production and get it out just after Christmas this year. And it's been 3 years since the first season dropped, so he took as much time as he possibly could have without completely losing the hype, and was able to craft a very good season here. And some of the things that I really thought were strong, kind of some of the elements that were back from the first season, was the character and the main character of Gi-hun himself, or Gi-hun. I really love the evolution of that character and where he is now and how he has such a different demeanor and almost seems like a completely different person than he was in the first season, but not in a way that feels disingenuous or doesn't connect to what was going on in the previous first season. It feels like it makes sense. It feels like it would make sense. He's more hardened, feels more guilty about what happened, and is just more psychologically fucked up after seeing all those deaths and all those things go down in those fucked up games in the first season, and everything that he went through and the people that he lost, and the fact that part of the reason why he went to get the money in the first place wasn't just his own fuck ups and his own debt. He was trying to get money for his mother's operation because she was sick and was going to pass on at any time if they couldn't get the help that she needed because they couldn't afford it, due to the fact that they were just low income and he had such a fucked up gambling addiction. So all of those things mixed together with the survivor's guilt of getting out of the Squid Games and the revenge and the singular focus that's only thing really keeping him together at this point is getting back at the front man and bringing these games down, I thought was such a great hook for season 2. And the creator and everyone involved, especially the lead actor, everyone really came through. And that element was so well done throughout all 7 of these episodes and continued. And the way that they leave it off with the cliffhanger at the end of this, where all hope is lost, he made his play to try to take them out. And unbeknownst to himself, he was betrayed by the front man, who was also one of my other favorite characters in this season, and the way that he got himself involved in the games as player number 1. And similar to the old man who was the kind of the front man or the person, behind the scenes leading everything and kind of passed on and was passing this down, to this frontman who has competed in the games before, if I'm not mistaken, and shot his own brother Wang, Detective Wang, who has lost his station now because he's fully been obsessed with finding the island and getting back to these games and exposing them and the crimes that they're doing and all the human trafficking going on with the organs of the contestants that are dying in the games, and the whole conspiracy going on with billionaires and all the big business and all the black market stuff going on in that element, and everything going on with it, the corruption that must be going down, maybe to be keeping this under wraps, that I think is going to come to a head in season 3, was also a great storyline in this season, where Wang was out on the outside trying to help Gi-hun and have him be the inside man to try to bring this all down and get the evidence that they need to prove that he's right and what he saw is really the truth and he isn't just cracking up. And, and the freaking front man is his brother after all. So he's definitely got a big emotional investment going into the season. And I really dug that as well. But everything going on with the front man, and I forget how to pronounce his actual name, but he was going by Ilsun when he was kind of undercover going on with Gi-hun and the other contestants in the games. And just the way that he was playing this double agent role throughout the entire season, to me, was so damn compelling. And once he finally made that turn and showed what his true intentions really were, which is what I suspected the whole time, that he was going to betray them and was in there to kind of rig the games in order to kind of have his own fun and maybe kind of prove certain things to Gi-hun. And he kind of seems like he's a fan of his as well and kind of respects the fact that he's a winner of the games like himself is, and was able to survive, and maybe wants to maybe semi-recruit him and kind of break him down into kind of joining what they're doing, right? So I think there's a lot of really cool, interesting elements they can play out with this character in season 3. And after this cliffhanger where he gets the upper hand, it's just super duper interesting, and the way that he was able to play both sides of like a good guy and a bad guy seemingly within the same season, I thought was really well done by the actor and brought so much shades to the performance and to the character that weren't there in the previous season, with him being kind of a MacGuffin, if you will, or a reveal. You know what I'm saying? Something that isn't meant to be seen the entire time. In fact, we don't even see his face for the majority of it and only realize his relation to someone else when Wang is confronted with him, and all that's kind of brought to a head when he shoots him. So all that and the way that it plays into this second season, and the way they were able to expand the lore, even with the recruit guy that's going around getting these people in these games in the first place, and his fucked up psyche, and the way that he makes those two associates of Gi-hun's loan shark that was after him in the first season, and who's actually kind of now working for him in order to find this recruiter for the games. And once they do, he fucking puts the drop on him real quick. Their cover's blown. He beats the shit out of him, ties him up, and makes him play a game of fucked up rock, paper, scissors / Russian roulette for whoever loses the damn round or their turn. And it's super duper crazy and fucked up, man. But that's the element of the show that's so great, how they take these innocent games and all this stuff and really make it a fucked up, twisted thing going on, in the way that they're able to bring you back to the games and kind of give you stuff that you've seen before, but bring in these new games and new elements to it, like voting after each kind of game that's going on, and all these contestants are getting killed off and whatnot, and how that plays ultimately with the character's psyche as well, and how they're all turning and forming different alliances and different rivalries with each other, and the way that it explodes into this crazy murder spree later on really goes in the bathroom and all that, similar to how it went down when people went to sleep in the first season. I think is super well done in the fact that it's similar things kind of play out with this social experiment that is this game in a sense, but at the same time, things kind of depending on the group of people in there can stay similar or play out completely differently. So I like the way that they were kind of toying with that with the writing in this season, how things are so similar and kind of stay within a cyclical kind of thing going on within the games existing and the Squid Games being there in the first place, and the way that it's so hard to find, but at the same time, understanding why characters would want to go through this shit, take the risk, and what they have at stake for a lot of these characters whose lives are at risk with people that they owe money to and things like that, if they don't get the money here and then anyway. So they're kind of doomed, damned if they do, damned if they don't. So that it's kind of a double-edged sword to where their life is at risk regardless of how this plays out. So them gambling with it and having those gambling addictions and those kind of character flaws really ties into why these characters would even do a lot of this shit to begin with, and why they would even continue forward. And some of them are just fucked up and immoral anyway. So that just goes to show really how fucked up of a person they really are. And that's the element of this and the social commentary that is just as well done in this second season as it was in the first season. So that was definitely one of my favorite elements to it. And all the new characters they introduced with this batch of contestants, like the son and the mom combo, and the transsexual person, and the one girl is pregnant or whatever, and all these different types of characters we didn't see in the previous season playing out in this thing with similar motives and different things and cultural backgrounds that all kind of plays into a lot of things that come to a head in the third act, if you will, in the 7th episode, where they're really making a charge and trying to kill all the guards and really, bring this shit down, in the way that the special forces background of the trans character really plays into things that go on, and how they're able to even make that attempt to begin with and have somewhat of a chance to where it feels believable in the moment, I think is really awesome as well. So overall, I think this second season of Squid Game, while not perfect, because I do think it was spinning its wheels a little bit and doesn't have exactly the same punch after seeing it the second time around, but overall, I think they executed this as well as anyone could or would be able to do. So I think this is definitely a excellent season of television. Another great addition to the Squid Game kind of universe, if you will. A third season is going to be coming through this coming year in 2025. So by the time you're seeing this, it's going to be New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So make sure you guys don't be missing out on any of the dopeness we have going on here on the channel. We got a lot of new things. We're going to be getting into reactions more so this year, full movies and episode reactions as well, potentially some anime. So keep your eyes peeled for when we start rolling into that. I got another second channel that we're going to be launching soon, coming in here in the new year of 2025. So whenever you're seeing this, especially, which is more than likely going to be 2025, stick around for the Phantom Frequency Network, if you will. All the dopeness we got going on here on the channel, weekly reviews. We got our What's the Word pop culture show where we talk about news every single week. So make sure you stay tuned. Don't sleep on anything we got going on here on the channel. And until next time, make sure you stay safe out there, and a happy new year to each and every one of you. Much love and peace out.